Yeah. Hare Krishna Mataji, the screen is visible, Mataji. Is it visible, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma. Can we start with a small prayer?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. We'll start with the prayers. Okay. మా ఏమనుకోకపోతే ఇక్కడ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ కార్డు ఉంటుంది, అది తీసుకొచ్చిస్తాను. ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ కార్డు ప్లస్ ఒక చార్జర్ కూడా.
Good evening.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपाय कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्देशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Govindaya Namaha Sri Krishna Hari Bol Gopala Hari Bol Radharamana Govinda Hari Bol Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. So welcome you all to the level 2 class of Bhagavad Gita, and today we are going to learn about chapter number 17, Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga, the divisions of faith of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Shri Shri Radha Govind Ki Jai. So these are the sections what we'll be discussing in today's chapter. 17.1 to 7. One modes determines one's activity, faith and worship in the modes. And next is the food in the 3 different modes, that is Sattva, Raja and Tamoguna. And sacrifices what we do in 3 gunas. And austerities performed in 3 gunas. And the charity in the 3 modes. So the conclusion is Om Tat Sat. So previous chapter, if you take a synopsis, it will tell you about the divine as well as the demonic qualities. What are the divine qualities and what are the demonic qualities? So divine qualities are the one which help us to progress further in the sattva guna, whereas the demonic qualities are the one which will make us to retain in the mode of a passion as well as the ignorance. Okay. So in which mode we are in will determines our faith and worship and help us progress further in that particular mode. Okay. So Arjuna is saying, "Oh Krishna, what is the situation of one who does not follow the principles of scripture, but worships according to his own imagination? Is he in the mode of a goodness, in a passion, or in a ignorance?" Yes, what do you say? Hare Krishna. Anybody from the audience? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes. People who act as per their own vision will, in which mode they are in?
I think ignorance and passion, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Trivida Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sasvabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Tam Shrunu. The Supreme Lord said, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one fate can be of three kinds. One is goodness, another is passion, third one is the ignorance. Now hear about these, okay? If you can see this table, there are different entities which have been uh, uh, described here. The people who are there in Sattva Guna, so Shuddha Sattva Guna, Bhakti Yoga, Prema towards the Lord, and Krishna Prapti. And people, impersonal bhakti, sattva guna is there, they know the knowledge and they go for the liberation. And people who are there in rajoguna, they do the karma and certain desires are unfulfilled and they come back to complete their cycle. Okay. So, O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Yajante satvika devan yaksharakshasamsi rajasa pretan bhutaganamshchanye yajante tamasa jana. Men in the mode of a goodness worship the demigods, and those in the mode of a passion worship the demons, and those in the mode of ignorance worship the ghost and the spirits. So you can see the picture which is there on the right hand side. The above one is the men who are there in the mode of a goodness worshipping the demigods, and in the middle, you can see the people who are there in the mode of a passion, who who worship the people in authority, the popular personality. So likewise, and you can, in the down, you can see people who take, who worship the ghost and all. So these are three different kind of worships, three different modes, Sattva, Raja and Tamoguna. Those who undergo severe austerities and penances not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride, egotism, and lust and attachment, who are impelled by passion and who torture the bodily organs, as well as the super soul which is dwelling in each and every living entity, are said to be are to be known as a demons. So these are the various examples which are followed in this. The above one is of the Hiranyakashipu, who has done a severe tapasya to get a boon that he is the most powerful king on the planet. And this is again the picture of a Ravanasura. And here are the two different yogis, you know, they don't have to perform so much of a severe austerities to the body, and they don't have to trouble their body so much by doing that. So love towards the God, inclination towards the God, and the Shraddha to do towards the God is required. That means the prema bhakti bhavana should be there, but you need not trouble your body so much to get the mercy of the God. Aharasvapi sarvasya trividho bhavati priya yajnastapasthatha danam tesham bhedam imam shrunu. Even the food, each person prefers is of again three kinds. So the food also you got a differentiation. According to the three modes of material nature, the same is of true of the sacrifices what we perform, the austerities which we perform, and the charity what we perform. Now hear about the distinction between these three. Okay. I wanted one devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhu.
Identifying mode of faith. Eating, sacrifice, austerity, charity by observing the activities of these senses: eating, sacrifice, austerity, charity. Those who know, wise are those people, those who know and discriminate based on these activities. Foolish, those who consider all kinds of food, sacrifice, etc. to be the same and does not discriminate. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So we all fall under the wise category, right? Actually, we know like what is right for us and what type of food we should eat and what type of sacrifices we have to perform and all. So so many people, you know, they are just what do you say? slaves to their senses, they don't have this discrimination. So thereby they end up being caught in the cycle of a birth and death. Okay. So now food in the mode of a goodness. Okay. I wanted one devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Krishna.
17.8 to 17.10. Foods in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, and give strength, health, and happiness and satisfaction. Such nourishing foods are sweet, juicy, fattening, and palatable. Foods that
Palatable.
are palatable. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, pungent, dry, and hot are liked by people in the mood of passion. Such foods cause pain, distress, and disease. Food cooked more than 3 hours before being eaten, which is tasteless, stale, putrid, decomposed, and unclean, is food liked by people in the mood of ignorance. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So the sattvic food is the one which is sweet, juicy, and fattening and palatable. But somebody is inclined to eat the one which is very salty, too sour, too bitter, dry, and hot. And so then they are said to be in the mode of a passion. And definitely, see, good on your uh, what do you say, mouth. It's going to cause a distress in your belly. Okay, and such food causes pain, distress, and disease. And food should always be consumed within 3 hours of cooking. It should not be. It should not go beyond. Because the more amount of time it is passing again, it will cause the putrefaction, the contamination or the disintegration process start off for the food. So it's always good to have the fresh food. Okay. So these are the 3 examples. The extreme left you got a food which is there in Sattva-guna. The middle one is the Rajoguna, and the third one is the Tamoguna. So these are the various examples of sacrifices. The sacrifice performed according to duty and to the scriptural rules, and to no expectation of reward is said to be in the mode of a goodness. So if you can see in the corona time, many people, you can take the ISKCON centers, they have supplied food for the needy people, even to the people who are hospitalized, where people were scared to go because they thought they may get contaminated, because everybody is scared in that pandemic time. But many people, many centers of ISKCON, they have supplied food to the needy people. Okay, but it never got advertised, because that is not the ultimate motto to get advertised of what the work they are doing. So doing the sacrifice, not expecting anything in the return, is said to be the mode of a goodness. Okay. So sacrifice in the mode of a goodness is done according to the direction of scriptures, because there is no mental speculation here, perform only as a matter of a duty. And example is going to the church or the temple as a duty and not for economic benefit. Duty of every civilized man to obey the scriptural injunctions which has been written and follow that strictly. So expecting no reward for all those, because it's a duty bound thing. General tendency is to offer with a purpose in the mind. So, but the sacrifice performed for some material and or benefit or performed ostentatiously out of pride is said to be the nature of a passion, O chief of Bharatas. So at the same time, we can take the same example in the pandemic. Many people, the politicians or some, the famous personality whom we know. So all those people, they have also helped the needy, but they were clicking the photographs, putting it in the social media and advertising themselves for all the things what they have done. So that is said to be the mode of a passion. And the sacrifice performed in the defense of our scriptural injunctions, in which no spiritual food is distributed, no hymns are chanted, and there are no remunerations, and are made to the priest, which is faithless. The sacrifice is said to be the mode of a ignorance. So this also you will come across many people, they'll be distributing it, but it's all Krishna's mercy. He has given us the life, he has given us the resources, and he is feeding all of us. So it is a basic ethic or basic what is it? Um, gratefulness towards the God, that to offer the food to him first and offer the mantras, or at least if you don't anything, you can chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, offer the food to the Lord, then have it as a prasadam. In that way, we will be free from any sort of attachments or any sort of irregularities attached to the food. So without that, if you are simply cooking and having the food, that means it's said to be in the mode of ignorance. Coming to the austerities in the modes. So austerity is again pertaining to the body, speech, and the mind. So what are those? We will go in detail. I just wanted any devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
You have Prabhu reading it, or should I read?
Please read, Prabhu.
Body. Worship of the Supreme Lord Brahmana, the spiritual master and superiors, the father and mother. Cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. Speech. Speaking truthful words, pleasing, beneficial, not agitating to others, also regularly reciting Vedic literatures. Mind. Gravity in thought, satisfaction, simplicity, self-control, purification of one's existence. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So austerity of the body is worshipping the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual masters, and the superior like father and a mother. So that is under a guidance of some superior. Okay, we are under a shelter of a superior, and we are constantly performing the activities under their guidance. So the cleanliness, that is the internal as well as the external cleanliness. External cleanliness is like a taking bath and all those things, and internal cleanliness is chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So depending upon one's capacity and one's what do you say, how much they are able to do, it is always better if they are able to chant the mantra. So that is going to cause the internal cleanliness and the simplicity by being following strictly the Vaishnava etiquette, that is the dress code, what is it, the tilaka, all those things, and the celibacy. So which is required because it will keep our mind under control. If we don't remain celibate and always will be having a thoughts of sense enjoyment. So we should abstain from such thought and train your mind to be celibate most of the time. And non-violence, that implies not only the non-violence is not about the killing or all those things, it is about not causing hurt to others also through our speech or by body language or by any means. Okay. Austerity of the speech, the speaking the truthful words, pleasing and beneficial to the others, because our ultimate aim is to chant Hare Krishna and make our inner journey peaceful and successful. So we should not be indulging in any of the activities where our speech is hurtful to others and it's causing agitation to others. So this happens only by having regular consumption of the Krishna Prasadam. So that purifies our tongue and it purifies our thought process, and we'll be able to speak only the good things to the others. So next is the austerity of the mind. So gravity in thought, satisfaction, simplicity, self-control, purifications of one existence. So self-control is like a self-mastery. If we are having that, we can have a control over all the situations in and around us. But if we don't have that, then it becomes very difficult. We will be caught in different conflict situations. Okay, Hare Krishna. Next. देवात्विजा गुरु प्रज्ञा पूजानं शौचमार्जवं ब्रह्मचर्यं अहिंसं च शरीरं तप उच्यते. So again, it's the same thing. What we said, we have to take shelter of a spiritual master, the seniors, and maintain all the the austerity is to keep ourselves fit enough to be a good sadhaka. Okay. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam cha yad Swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. So austerity of speech consists of speaking truthfully and beneficially and avoiding speech that offend the other people. One should also recite the Vedas regularly. Unless we chant and unless we are reading the scriptures regularly, it is not possible one to be so offensiveless in his speech and all. So we should make it a point that we are chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra regularly, having the Krishna Prasadam, then everything else will fall into the place. And serenity, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purity of the thoughts are the austerities of the mind. Okay. So this particular example of Maharaja Yudhishthir, you know, after Vanaprastha, they after all the Pandavas will go for the forest, and in the journey time, Draupadi will leave her material body first, followed by other Pandavas, and Yudhishthira is the only person who remains at the end, you know. So, and one small story here again, you know, and he is accompanied by a dog also. So when he enters the higher planets, they ask him to come inside, but Yudhishthir Maharaj says the dog has accompanied me for all this time and it has to come along with me. So then they say, no, you cannot come with the dog. Okay. So then Yudhishthir Maharaj says, I'll wait for the turn. When the dog completes its turn, when it is eligible to enter this heavenly planets, I'm going to come along with that. So it has been through my thick and thin all through water. So I cannot leave that and come to the heavenly planets. So then the dog will turn into the Yamadharma Raja, and it is the final test that there were the final test for the dharma for the Yudhishthir Maharaj, and he has successfully passed that. So after that, he will be entering the heavenly planets. So again, this particular picture is from the Sukadeva Goswami, okay, and Vyasadeva. You can see the Vyasadeva and Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami, he is not having any clothes on his body, but he is so much spiritually elevated person, you know. The women, even when they are bathing in there in the nearby lake, did not feel anything when they saw the Sukadeva Goswami. But when they saw the Vyasa Muni, they covered themselves with the clothes. They were feeling very shy, you know. So a person who is spiritually elevated will not have any sort of a they don't cause any sort of an agitation to others. So whereas a person who are indulging in some amount of materialistic activity, by seeing them, the other individuals will feel an agitation. So this is one particular example. श्रद्धया परया तप्तम् तपस्तत्त्रिविधं नरै अपलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्युक्तै सात्विकं परिचक्ष्यते. This threefold austerity practiced by men, those aim is not to benefit themselves materially, but to please the Supreme, is of the nature of the goodness. So whatever the austerity one is performing, you know, these are pictures of Vrindavan Parikrama, you know, the 21 kilometers of Vrindavan Parikrama they do around the Govardhana hill and all, and the Vrindavan Parikrama is around the Vrindavan, and Govardhana Parikrama is around the Govardhana hill, and this is the Mayapur Parikrama. So this also goes for days together. Okay, so people perform severe austerities in a group. They are walking barefoot. They are offering the obeisances onto the Lord and surviving with the bare minimum food and all. So all these things are done not to get their senses satisfied. It is just to please the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. That is said to be the mode of a goodness. Satkaramana pujartam tapodambhena chaiva yad kriyate tad iha proktam rajasam chala madruvam. So those ostentatious penances and austerities which are performed in order to gain respect, honor and reverence are said to be in the mode of a passion. These are neither stable or not permanent. As discussed in our previous slides, the one which we do to gain respect in the society, where we are posting in the social media, or if you are doing certain help and that is being clicked and put in the media for attention and all, is said to be in the mode of a passion. So all those things, now we are doing the activity that is of a vain. Muda grahane grahenatmatanai, sorry, Muda grahenat manaya pidaya kriyate tapa parasyo sadat anartham va tattamasam udahritam. And those penances and austerities which are performed foolishly by the means of option and self-torture, or to destroy or injure others, are said to be in the mode of an ignorance. And we have an example of a tapasya which is done by Hiranyakashipu or Ravanasura just to gain some gain to trouble the other mankind. So that is said to be the mode of a ignorance. So now we will come about the charity in different modes. Okay. Datavyam iti yadhanam diyate no parikarine desekale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. The gift which is given out of duty at a proper time and place to a worthy person and without any expectation of return is said to be charity in the mode of a goodness. Here we can take an example of a say the brahmachari who is distributing the books to the needy people and all. So he's not expecting any return out of it. So the reading the scriptures is one way, paving a way for the self-realization that is said to be the mode of a goodness. So, charity in the mode of a goodness is done as a duty at a proper time and a place to a worthy a worthy person and given out of duty without any expectations in a return. Okay. So, yeah. Yatyu pratyupakaradham palam uddishya vapuna yateja pariklishtam taddanam rajasamsmritam. But again, I've been telling you the same thing. So many people, you can see in the pandemic time and all, they have clicked the photographs and circulated in the media and all. This is one such example where this person is helping the needy, but is clicking and advertising himself. So such an action is said to be the mode of a passion. Next, charity in passion. So expectation of some return, desire for fruitive results and grudging. What is this? We will see. Adeshe kale yaddanam apatrebhyascha diyate asakritam avajnatam tattamasam udakritam. And charity performed at an improper place and time given to an unworthy person without respect and with a contempt is charity is said to be the mode of a ignorance. So unworthy people, you can see many people who will be sitting outside a bar and restaurant and all, and they'll be asking for the food, some money and all. So all those things, what do? They either buy the cigar or they buy some liquor or they get some non-veg food and all. So your charity is waste. Now you are giving some money, it is of no use. It is going into all the rubbish shabby thing, isn't it? So such a charity is said to be in a mode of ignorance. We should always ideally give some charity to the temples and through them, because temples distribute the free food for all and all. They one channelizing our good karma. Adeshe kala yaddanam apatrebhyascha diyate asakritam avajnatam tattamasam mudakritam. So the same example what I've told in my previous slide. So here you can see the person who is asking a help for the weak. Okay, so such a sacrifice or the help what we are doing to the others is said to be the mode of ignorance. So, charity in the mode of ignorance is at an impure place, in an improper time, and to an unworthy person, at no proper attention and no proper respect. So, we should stay away from all such things. So, the conclusion is Om Tat Sat. From the beginning to the of the creation, the three syllables, that is Om Tat Sat, we have been used to indicate the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, the Brahman, and these were uttered by the Brahmanas while chanting the Vedic hymns and during the sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Okay. So thus the transcendentalists undertake sacrifices, charities, and penances, beginning always with the Om, the word Om. Many of the sacrifices, what we do, the yajnas, what we do, we start with the letter Om. So it is to attain the Supreme. Om is Om iti etad brahmano nedistham namaha, indicates the first goal. Om means Vishnu. It is placed at the beginning of the Vedic hymn to indicate the supreme goal. So one should perform the sacrifice, penances, and charity with the word Tat. Okay, what is that? The purpose of such transcendental activity is to get the free from the material entanglement. Whatever the activity we have been, if you take an example of a third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, so where we are doing the karma as a service towards the Lord, as a duty towards the Lord, but we are not expecting any returns out of it. So such an activity is said to be the Tat. So by uttering the word Tat, we are freeing ourselves from this material entanglement. That is Tattvam Asi. So as per the Chandrognya Upanishad 6.8.7. So that describes the detached work for the sake of the liberation. So it is similar to what Arjuna did in the Kurukshetra war, and not expecting anything out of him. As a matter of a duty, upon direction by Krishna, he does the war. So such a type of a work is required. So that is the reason why we recite this word Tat. So these activities are done with a disregard for the materials, no matter whatever the result may be, but we do it as a service towards the Lord. So absolute truth is the objective of the devotion service and is indicated with the word Sat. These words of sacrifice, of penances, and of a charity, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person of Pritha. Okay. Sadeva Soumya. Again, as per the Chandognya Upanishad, Sat means eternal. That means activities done for the service of the Lord reveal the true spiritual nature. In such activity, the performer of action becomes eternal. The activities are aimed at eternal and the benefits of activities are eternal. So it is not for instantaneous benefit. It is for the continuous benefit of the mankind. We are doing certain yajnas and all those. If you take the food distribution, certain yajnas, distributing the book, and giving the knowledge to others, conducting the classes, attending the Gita classes, attending the Bhagavatam sessions, all this comes under the yajnas only. Okay. Factually, the transcendental sounds Omkara, although a combination of three letters, Om has transcendental potency, and one who chants Omkara will soon realize Omkara and the Vishnu to be the non-different. So, if you can remember in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he say, I am the syllable Om. Okay. So, by doing this also, ultimately, indirectly, we'll get connected to the Lord. So, it is as per the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 7th chapter, 120th sloka. Akaraneyochyate Krishna sarvalokaika yukaranechutta radha makaro jiva vachaka. So, Akaranechyate Krishna, the letter Akara refers to a Krishna who is the Sarvalokaika Nayaka, is the master of all living entities in the planets, material as well as the spiritual. The letter Ukara indicates Srimati Radharani, who is the greatest devotee of Lord Krishna, the pleasure potency of Krishna, internal potency of Lord Krishna, and Makara indicates the living entities, Jivas, and so as per the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 7th chapter, 128 sloka. Okay. But sacrifices, austerities, and charities performed without a faith in Supreme are non-permanent. So, whatever we are doing, the sacrifices, austerity, we have to do it as a service towards the Lord. Otherwise, it is all vain and is all temporary. So, son of Pritha. Regardless of whatever the rites are performed, they are called asat, unless and are used as both in this life and the next. So, whatever the actions you are doing in your life, in your day-to-day affairs, make Krishna as the prime person responsible for that, and do for him, and do it as a service towards the Lord. Automatically, you'll be free from all sort of entanglement. So these are the various verses what we have discussed in today's chapter. Once more determines one's activity, faith and worship in the modes, and food in three different modes, sacrifices in three different modes, austerities in three different modes, and charities in the three different modes. And the conclusion is the Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So since 17 chapters, very small one, I have completed in one section. Hare Krishna. I just wanted some opinions, because we are left with only one chapter, that is the 18th chapter. If you are willing to come regularly, maybe today or tomorrow and day after, we can complete 18th chapter. Next week, I am quite little bit busy. I won't be able to take the class. What is your opinion? Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Okay,
Mataji,
Mataji.
I can attend.
Yeah.
Okay, Mataji can take no problem.
Yeah, two classes tomorrow and day after.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So I think tomorrow and day after I'll complete so that what do you say? We can complete the level 2
Yes,
all the
Mataji.
chapters. Okay. So any doubt in today's class? Hope it's clear, no? Three different modes, and it defines the nature. Like if we wanted to practice Suddha Sattva Guna, how we have to do, and different austerities and different sacrifices and all those things. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
So
Yes,
we
Yes,
wanted to
Mataji.
be a Vaishnava. It start with our attire and Vaishnava attire and the chanting, attending the temple programs, attending the Mangalarti. So increasing the number of rounds and observing the Ekadashi Vrata. So maintaining all devotee association and continuously practicing this will keep us on the track. If we deviate, then it becomes difficult because Maya is so strong, the senses are so strong, and it will try to take us away from our routine, and it will cause a break in our sadhana. So try to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra at least one round. Start with the one round. Try to increase at least. So if you're able to chant 16 rounds, is well and good. But people who are in the very beginning level, please try to increase the number of chants. Okay, Hare Krishna. I think if there are no more doubts, I'll conclude for today.
Mataji, I have
Yes,
two questions, Mataji. One is,
yes,
what do
Prabhu.
you mean by expansion of the Lord? I'm not able to understand that.
There
Expansion
are
of the
the
Lord.
plenary expansions of Lord Krishna. So this will be dealt in first canto, third chapter, Prabhu, where are Satyavesha avatars, Manvantara avatars. So Lord will appear in different form, depending on certain situation. Like he'll appear as a Vamana, he'll appear as a Narsimha, and he will take a Rama avatara, depending on the situation, Prabhu. So all those are plenary expansions of Lord Krishna.
But aren't they known as incarnations also?
Yes, Prabhu.
Then how come Lord Balram is taken as an expansion of Lord Krishna?
Prabhu, Krishna is the source, Prabhu. Rest of the things will come in sequence. So Balarama also come under his expansion only, Prabhu.
But he's an incarnation of Sheshnag, Ananta Sheshnag.
Yes, Prabhu. Again, that comes in detail in the first canto, because It is something like if you take a milk, you get a curd, buttermilk, you get a butter, ghee, and all those things. But source is again the milk proper, right? Likewise, Krishna is the source, and whether it is, and there are different types of Vishnu. In that Vishnu also different avatars are there, Prabhu. So one represent one. So likewise, the Balarama represents what you are saying, the Ananta Shishna. And different plenary expansions represent a different avatars, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. And last question is Om Tat Sat. What does Tat mean?
That Prabhu, actually just now we have discussed, no?
Yeah, I was not clear on that.
Yeah, I'll just show you. Om is remembering the Lord, and
yeah. Om is
the
for
Tat
Lord Vishnu.
Yeah, and Tat is what do you say? Doing service without any expectations, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is one. The purpose of such transcendental activities get free from the material entanglements. So whatever the activity we are doing, we have to do it as a service towards the Lord. In that we are free from that. Others will be caught under that false ego, like I did this and all. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So we'll conclude for today, and tomorrow we'll meet at the same time at 7 p.m. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Thank you, co-hosts and participants, for your active participation. See you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mata.